welcome back to Stamping at the Warren, and I'm Kim Tolton, and today we're talking about pennies. No, we're not really. Today we're talking about shaker cards. Not shaker cards. I'm telling an absolute lie. We're talking about slider cards. And because I live in the UK, I'm using pennies. My husband's not a big DIYer, so we haven't got any washers around. So we're going to be making slider cards. This was my prototype, which I didn't get quite right, but it's almost there. So if you rotate it round, it just has one little area where it gets a bit stuck, and then it carries on its journey, and we're back to hunky-dory again. So they're great fun little cards to make. So as I say, this is the prototype that I made. This is the finished one that I've made for my cousin's new baby card. They've been trying a long time for a baby with lots and lots of problems, and finally last week their little bundle of joy arrived, and it just seemed very fitting to make one of these. So this is the one that I have made for them, and I've just used the Swirly Bird stamp set to create the background for this one. We're going to be doing something completely different. So it's the same principle. It's still swirly whirly, but we are doing a smile shaped card. Well, not shaped card, but the actual moving piece is going to be going through a little curve there. So I'm going to go through the products that you need. So the bundle, you get these, I believe, at a 10% saving if you buy them as a bundle. So you've got the Shooting Star stamp set from Stampin' Up, and you've got a shooting star, there's a moon, there's little bees, little stars, there's the hive, and a bigger bee, and then a paper airplane, and the world. So you've got some great little stamps on there. We're going to be using the large bee and the teeny bee, and possibly some little stars, but we'll see. And then you have the coordinating dies that go with it, and you get two dies, main dies. I'll show you. So the main die is this one, and this is what creates the channel for you. Okay, and then they've probably all got stuck now, and then all the other dies, it's the adhesive. And then on the other side, I really should use magnetic sheets. You've got all the coordinating dies, as you can see here. Okay, so we'll put that away because we're not using that, because I've already got the die out. And I've already got the stamp out. The ink pads that we're using, because we're doing beehives and bees, but I'm going to use chocolate chip and crushed curry ink pads. You also want either quite a few Stampin' Dimensionals, or there are these guys, and I can't remember what they actually call them. I think they are like shaker. I had a pack here, and now I can't find it. I've put it out of the way somewhere. No, there it is. Foam adhesive strips. There you go. So they're much finer. They're thinner than Stampin' Dimensional. So they're perfect for shaker frames, and they're perfect for these as well, these slider frames, because you can get all the way around. You can mould this to the shape you want. So you want some of those. You then want a couple of scraps of one of Daffodil Delight and one Whisper White that will do a bit of stamping on. And then your main card is 30 centimetres by 10.5, score down through the long side at 14.9, and then all you do is you fold that over, grab your foam folder, and that's the main card base done. And then the main panel that we will be die cutting is this one, which measures 14.4 by 9.7 centimetres, and that will mat nicely onto the card front there. So I just want to do a little bit of stamping onto this card before we do the die cutting, and it will just make life a little bit easier. So I'm going to start with, and I need that spare pieces of cardstock next to me as well. So let's start with the beehive. And we're going to do a few of these, and we're just going to use random stamping, so literally just wacky beehive design going on, and you want to use first, second, third, possibly even fourth generation stamping. And this is just to create a bit of a background there. And at the same time I'm going to stamp the beehive onto that panel there for die cutting. And also a bee that we will put on there. And then we're going to do some, actually I'm going to do crushed curry for these little bees. There we go, so they've got the little bee here. We'll use crushed curry just as a contrast. Might do some in the choc chip, we'll see. And these will just give lovely little bee images. Twist and turn those stamps, and again random stamping, and if you can get a couple of stampings, 2 or 3 stamps out before you have to re-ink, and that's what's called first, second or first to fourth generation stamping. It just means the amount of times you stamp before you re-ink your actual rubber stamp. And if you follow me regularly, you know that I love to do rubber stamping. It's my absolute passion. So I do, if I can create a background of my own, I will. I do use decorative papers, and I do make my own decorative papers. In a way, that's exactly what we're doing here. But if I can rubber stamp a background, I will. There we go. Lots of little bees. Bit of a gap there, that one done. And I'm also going to stamp the sentiment, because if you wait until after it's die cut, then you can end up with a bit of warped cardstock, and that doesn't look particularly pretty. So through this middle here, actually no, I think I'm going to put it down the bottom here, shall we? No, let's go in the middle. And this says, "You're sweet as can be." There we go. Nice little sentiment in there. Right, so now we need to do the die cutting. And I put away those dies, and I shouldn't have, should I? Because I want the bee ones. I want Mr. Buzzy Bee. I want the beehive. Oh, oh, oh. God, they're right stuck down, look. That's my fault. I really should start putting them onto magnetic sheets. Right, let's go with the beehive and the little bee, or the big bee. There we go. Right, so we want to die cut these out first. So So up comes my big shot. Away. You want your magnetic platform preferably. You do find if images are fairly small that they tend to go walkabout when you put them on. Look, they're there. So we want, what have I done with me? There we go. I'm thinking, what on earth have I done with me dies? Right, let's find the right way around. So there's the B one. And if you get that happening, I don't know if you can see here, but the die is being resisted. Turn your plate round, your cutting plate that round, and try again. And it's because the plate, the magnetic plate, is made of lots of very small magnets, and the polarity can just get knocked off every so often. So just move your cardstock, it'll be fine. And also, if you don't rotate your plates frequently, I've got my big shot round the wrong way. If you don't rotate them regularly, you can find that the warping stops stamps from doing what you want them to be doing. So we've managed to get the bee and the beehive. There we go. Put those there, and then what we want to do next is pop that curved die, which is there. So I just need to decide exactly where I want that to be, and obviously I want to miss the sentiment there, so let's go with a placement down here somewhere. And you just need to make sure you've got enough space around it for putting your dimensionals or your foam strips through. Now, I've always been put off of making spinner cards, and it took me a little while to get my head around it, but once I got it, it was like fine, and I thought, oh, for goodness sake, girl, it wasn't as hard as you thought it was. So once this goes down onto the card base, as you'll see here, you can see that there's a channel there. So I'm going to use the foam strips, and what you want to do is you want to put these around the whole image, but don't go too close. If you go too close, what you will find is that the pennies, or whatever you're using as your weight, the washers, whatever, you will find that the pennies get stuck. So just make sure you give plenty of space. Now I'm going around, all the way around the card first. This doesn't need to be exact. It's a bit like the same process of making an aperture card or a shaker card. Snip that bit off, and then this bit that I've got here I can put here, and then I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals rather than start another strip. So what you can see is that there's going to be adhesive underneath there and above it. So that means when we take all of these strips off, we can start building our card. So I've just taken all the adhesive off first of all. Your next job is to get your pennies or your washers or your quarters, and you're going to stick these together. So you need to keep the thicknesses the same. So that means a Stampin' dimensional. That goes in the middle here. And we're going to kind of work through here, trying not to get any adhesive on the penny. And what we try and do is sandwich it without sticking it to the card. Right, so it's through, it's not stuck on the card. You get your second penny and on it goes. And you should be able to test it out then. There you go. And back again. Yay! So now we can stick this down onto our card base. And just line it all up. Make sure your fold's in the right place. Nothing worse than an upside down card. Pop that down, give everything a nice press. And then what we've got to do last of all, so there you can see your pennies going backwards and forwards. And to give a bit more weight, we have got our bee and beehive. So we're going to use these to decorate. Now, some of these will fit. Some of these, they're smaller than a penny. And what I found was by using the 3/4 inch circle punch, you can actually die cut, you can punch out a little circle that you can put on the penny before you put that on. So we're going to just do a very quick bit of watercolour, just to give our bees and our beehive a little bit of colour. So let's just give a nice wash. I'm not making it particular, just very quick, pick up a bit of colour, and this is the crushed curry. There we go. And secondly, we need stripes for our bee. Okay. And the second one, back in with the chocolate chip. And we'll just give our bee its chocolatey stripes. And there we go. Give him a nice little body. Leave the wings uncoloured. I love the fact that those wings are little love hearts. And I found, playing around, you could pop that onto a dimensional on top, or you can, in fact, just glue it straight on to your penny. And the best thing I found for that, after playing about, is Tombow. So just pop Tombow on the top there. Okay, and our beehive can go straight down, and that will dry really quickly. And once it's bonded, it's really well bonded. And then with our little bee, we can pop him on top, and for that I will use a Stampin' dimensional. And what you're seeing here is how I actually work, which sounds daft. So I try to work and just see how things go, really. So you will find that your little bee swings around. There we go. Sometimes takes a couple of tries before it gets it. There you are. And it spins. Look, isn't that lovely? So, anyway, there you have it. A lovely little card. I think this one is easier for people to get when they open it compared to the one that I've done with the circle. I think they have to know about crafting or have some instructions of what on earth am I doing with this card. But this one works really well, the sort of smiley face one. You could then decorate that as you choose. I've just left it like this so that you can see how simple it is to make, particularly this one. So if you do buy the set, try this one first so you don't waste any product, and then when you get it, then switch. And I wish that's the way around I did it, but I specifically wanted this style, so that's what I went with first of all. But they are great fun, absolutely great fun, and you can do with them as you choose. You could equally cut a piece of designer series paper and just die cut through, and you've got a die cut, you've got a piece of designer series paper on there. I mean, the possibilities are absolutely endless. And that's it for today. Don't forget, if you would like to join my community Pinterest board, just start following the board, and I will send you an invitation. And also all of my social media details are in the show more section under today's video. If you click on the eye icon on the top right of the video, you will be able to click on a card that will take you through today's blog post, or just click on the link underneath today's video and that will also get you over to the blog for the typed up version of the tutorial. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon. Ta-ta for now.